Hello guys, welcome back to TFD. I am Arfin, and today we're discussing two San Antonio dudes because they have officially become a nightmare for the NBA. The San Antonio Spurs have done it again, back-to-back Rookie of the Year winners. One is a 7'5" defensive cheat code from France who bends the geometry of the court just by standing near the rim. The other is a 6'6" perimeter menace with a relentless motor, elite instincts, and a physical edge that shows up on every possession. Together, they are already forming a two-way nightmare, one that has front offices, coaches, and players across the NBA paying very close attention. This is not a long-term projection. This is not a give it a few years situation. This is happening right now. And the rest of the league has a serious problem on its hands. To understand why this matters, you have to understand the San Antonio Spurs. Few franchises in NBA history can match their draft resume. Their success has never been accidental. It is a repeatable pattern built on elite scouting, organizational patience, and a development system that turns potential into production. That formula directly fueled championships in 1999, 2003, 2005, 2007, and 2014, and it is once again reshaping the league's future. The blueprint began in 1987, when the Spurs won the lottery and selected David Robinson first overall. Robinson immediately changed the trajectory of the franchise, winning Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, an MVP award, and 2 championships before entering the Hall of Fame. Like Robinson, Duncan is now enshrined in Springfield. But the Spurs' draft dominance was never limited to the top of the board. In the early 2000s, they found generational value outside the lottery. Tony Parker was taken with the final pick of the first round in 2001. Manu Ginobili was selected 57th overall in 1999. Alongside Duncan, they formed one of the greatest big threes in NBA history. Parker became a 4-time champion and Hall of Famer, while Manu brought controlled chaos, 2 All-NBA selections, a 6th Man of the Year award, and a global style of play that changed the league. That tradition continued into the 2010s with Kawhi Leonard, drafted 15th overall in 2011. Leonard developed into a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, the 2014 Finals MVP, and the face of San Antonio's last championship run before his departure in 2018. When the Duncan era ended, the Spurs entered a rebuild, but the draft remained their lifeline. Keldon Johnson at 29th, Devon Vassell at 11th, Jeremy Sochan at 7th. Pieces laid carefully, patiently, while the organization waited for its next franchise-altering moment. That moment arrived in 2023. San Antonio won the ultimate lottery prize and selected Victor Wembanyama first overall, a 7'5" phenom who somehow exceeded the hype. Rookie of the Year, all-defensive first team, and an all-star appearance by his second season. Nicknames like the Alien were not exaggerations. He was doing things on a basketball court that simply did not make sense. And then, incredibly, the Spurs did it again. 1 year later, lottery luck struck once more. San Antonio moved up and selected Stephon Castle with the 4th pick, a powerful, versatile guard who brought defensive intensity, playmaking, and leadership from day one. Castle followed Wembanyama by capturing the franchise's 2nd Rookie of the Year, cementing himself as more than a complementary piece. It didn't take long for the duo to make waves together. Wembanyama erases mistakes at the rim. Castle applies constant pressure on the perimeter. One controls space vertically, the other controls it horizontally. Together, they formed the foundation of a new Spurs era, built on defense, intelligence, and unselfish play. The league has seen this movie before. It always starts in San Antonio, and it usually ends in banners hanging from the rafters.
There was never any real doubt that Victor Wembanyama was one of the most gifted prospects the NBA had ever seen. From the moment he arrived in San Antonio, the expectations were historic. Through the early stages of his career, the third-year big man has done exactly what generational players are supposed to do. He did not just meet the hype, he elevated it. This season, Wembanyama has taken another clear step forward. He is averaging nearly 25 points and 10 rebounds per game, while adding over 3.5 blocks a night, all while posting the most efficient shooting numbers of his young career. Perhaps the most encouraging development has been his offensive refinement. Rather than settling for difficult perimeter attempts, he has leaned into what makes him truly unstoppable: increased work around the rim. With physical tools that simply do not exist anywhere else in the league, it makes perfect sense to maximize that advantage. As impressive as his offensive ceiling is, Wembanyama's true calling card remains on the defensive end. That is where he separates himself from everyone else. His instincts, timing, and shot-blocking ability have already established him as the premier rim protector in the NBA, and it's not particularly close. His impact extends far beyond highlight rejections. His presence alone alters shot selection, spacing, and entire offensive game plans. When Wembanyama is on the floor, San Antonio's defense jumps into the upper tier of the league. That defensive surge has turned the Spurs into a nightmare matchup, even while they remain technically in a rebuilding phase. The term unicorn gets overused in NBA discussions, but in this case, it actually applies. His combination of size, agility, coordination, and defensive awareness has no real historical comparison. Since blocks have been officially tracked, only a small group of players have ever averaged at least 3.5 per game. Wembanyama became the youngest player in league history to do so, posting 3.6 blocks per game in the 2023 to 2024 season. He followed that up by increasing the number again, leading the NBA in total blocks despite playing limited minutes. More importantly, his value is not just about volume. Opponents attempt fewer shots at the rim and convert at dramatically lower rates when he is on the court. There's also a psychological layer to his dominance. With an 8-foot wingspan and a standing reach approaching 10 feet, Wembanyama gets inside opponents' heads. Players drive into the paint, see him, and then hesitate. Many possessions die before a shot is even attempted. In an era where everything is tracked, it almost feels like there should be a stat for it. Prevented drives. Wembanyama isn't just protecting the rim. He's redefining what a center looks like in the modern NBA. And when you pair that level of interior dominance with another recent Rookie of the Year, you get the final piece of the puzzle. Enter the 6'6" brick wall. In just his second season, Stephon Castle already looks like a complete two-way force, playing as if the sophomore slump simply does not exist. Across the board, the growth is obvious. He is scoring more, creating more, rebounding more, and attacking the rim with far greater intent. He lives at the free throw line, pressures defenses downhill, and constantly forces rotations. Yes, the turnovers are part of the current package, but Castle gives those possessions right back by taking on the opposing team's best guard every single night. If Castle ever becomes even a league average three-point shooter next to Victor Wembanyama, with San Antonio's downhill guards and wings collapsing defenses, the math becomes terrifying. Defensively, what separates Castle is not flashy steal or block totals. It is discipline. He defends with his feet and his chest, not his hands. A strong base, clean lateral movement, and elite balance allow him to wall off drivers, stay out of foul trouble, and force tough contested pull-ups. The turnovers are worth addressing. Castle's turnover rate remains high, a byproduct of his aggression and expanding role. But that same aggression fuels some of his best moments: tight window passes, advanced reads, creative deliveries most players his age would never attempt. With time, the ball security will improve. The decisions will sharpen. The shooting remains the swing skill. With a healthy roster, Castle will not be asked to carry the full creation burden. Sharing touches eases pressure and puts the spotlight on his ability to punish defenses when they sag off. Even so, it's hard to find many players his age who bring this level of value as both a switchable defender and on-ball threat. Castle plays fearless basketball. He embraces big moments, communicates constantly, and brings real physicality.
Pair him with Wembanyama, and that side of the floor becomes a no-fly zone. Area 51 is not a nickname, it is a warning.
In November 2024, a nickname was born on X, and it stuck instantly. Area 51. Castle wears number 5. Wembanyama wears number 1. Put them together, and you get a no-fly zone. The reference fits perfectly. Area 51 is infamous for UFOs and aliens, and Victor Wembanyama plays like something not from this planet. He practically dunks from the three-point line. Stephon Castle brings his own aerial show, finishing as the runner-up in the 2024 Slam Dunk Contest. Their numbers, their play style, and their impact feel almost scripted. The last time the Spurs struck gold like this, they built a dynasty. So the question is no longer whether this duo is special. The question is simple. Is history about to repeat itself? Last season, San Antonio finished with the 21st ranked defense in the NBA. This year, when Victor Wembanyama and Stephon Castle share the floor for extended minutes, the Spurs rank comfortably inside the top 10. That kind of jump does not happen by accident. It is the direct result of two elite young defenders growing together in real time. Wembanyama is, of course, the centerpiece. His rim protection alone warps opposing game plans. But around the league, attention is increasingly shifting toward Castle as well. With back-to-back Rookie of the Year winners, San Antonio became just the second franchise since 1975 to produce consecutive recipients of the award. While those honors are often framed through offensive production, Castle has been clear about what truly defines their impact. Both players take pride in being two-way forces. Defense is the identity they are building in San Antonio, and they see themselves as the tone setters. The details matter. How they guard pick and rolls together, how they read off each other's assignments, when to switch, when to help, when to crash the glass for one another. Those small, unglamorous decisions are what have elevated the Spurs on that end of the floor. Offensively, Castle's sophomore leap has been fueled by constant downhill pressure. He attacks the rim with confidence, finishes through contact, and earns trips to the free throw line at a high rate, all while taking on more playmaking responsibility. At the same time, Wembanyama has reshaped his offensive approach. He's cut back on low-efficiency three-point attempts and replaced them with higher percentage looks inside, drawing more fouls and boosting his scoring efficiency as a result. With both players taking meaningful steps forward, San Antonio has every reason to be excited about what Area 51 is becoming. The Spurs' early season success is not a fluke. It's tied directly to Wembanyama and Castle leveling up together, turning what looked like a slow rebuild into something far more dangerous. After spending much of early 2025 working his way back from a blood clot scare, Wembanyama said late in the offseason that nobody trained harder than he did. What went mostly unspoken was how much of that work involved Castle. Hours of film study, on-court walkthroughs, obsessing over timing, angles, and defensive reads that now show up every night. When injuries forced lineup adjustments early in the season, that chemistry became essential. It hasn't been perfect, but the growth has been undeniable. For a duo in its first full season together, the progress has been rapid and, frankly, a little alarming. The Spurs are not rebuilding. They are reloading. And the rest of the NBA may already have a Victor Wembanyama and Stephon Castle problem.
Now it's your turn. Do you believe the Victor Wembanyama and Stephon Castle duo is already a nightmare for the rest of the NBA? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want daily updates, breakdowns, and analysis, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing.